from my experience, what I usually go and do to organizations is creating a marketing architecture. So we call it as marketecture. So that will help us define on how we can.
Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of our podcast MetricMinds. Join us in welcoming Madhan, a distinguished marketer with an impressive 19-year journey transforming businesses worldwide. Not just a fractional CMO and independent consultant, Madhan was responsible for driving data-driven marketing at ThoughtWorks. He's revered for his deep understanding of sectors like BFSI, retail, healthcare, edutech, and fintech, driving growth and brand presence through strategic data-driven initiatives. His expertise lies in steering the businesses towards substantial growth, customer acquisition, and robust brand presence. An influential speaker and recognized as growth hacking influencer by Analytica. Today, he joins us to share his insights on building successful marketing frameworks, leveraging analytics for business growth, and the strategies that have helped him and his clients thrive in competitive world of digital marketing. Madhan, we welcome you on this podcast. Inspired us to build context, and we really hope that we would be able to bring a lot more data access, a lot more access to deep insights to the marketers and the marketing leaders. Going to the marketing analytics problem which we are solving. In your experience, how should businesses approach setting objectives for marketing analytics team? What are some of the common goals that you have seen in effective charters? Since you have a deep experience in domain as a marketer, as a marketing leader, as well as somebody who has not only set up marketing analytics charter but ran them successfully across multiple companies. Madhan, I would love to know from you in terms of how do you see setting the objectives, and how do you set objectives, and what really leads to a great start of the journey for a marketing analytics teams?
Thanks, Anand. That's a brilliant question. To answer that, setting objectives is one of the prime directive for a marketing head or a CMO when he comes and joins an organization, right? And one of the primary objective is to create visibility into what work we do on a daily basis. And how do we do that? And it's like something like marrying all the data and showing up value to the stakeholders. The stakeholders are from various departments, and so it makes the marketer responsibility to show the data in a simple form where everyone can understand. It's not that I can put in a say about ROAS or SQL or MQL and make everyone complicate everything complicate. Instead, I can put it in a Word document talking about what are different initiatives we are trying and how it can be measured and what is the value for the business. These three things can actually help any business to understand the objective. These are the prime objective for a marketing team. And however, setting up an analytics program, marketing analytics program, it all talks about the accuracy, right? So let's say when a campaign is run, how long it is run, and what are the kind of channels it has been integrated. So it talks about mostly on the accuracy and timely data. And also, as a marketer, we have to find ways to identify all these data from different channels. Take an example, the CRM has a strong data about sales intent, and a CDP has strong data about your first party and third party data. Your marketing automation tool has a strong data about your people who come in, who opt in, who subscribe to your newsletter, sign up for a product, etc. And all these are are built to understand insights primarily. Like we create the foundational elements to understand insights. So to primarily look at this, the three components I would say for a successful marketing strategy is your accuracy and timeliness of the data, and how far you can go and analyze the data to identify trends and patterns, how to analyze your data on the trends and patterns, and then uh, acting on the insights that came on through the time.
Okay.
So these are the three primary pillars, I would say, that sits on top of any marketing strategy. And breaking it down, it varies from company to company, business to business.
Right. So it makes sense, right? What you're saying is data plays a central role, intelligence plays the central role, and then how do you present and consume those insights plays a very, very central role with respect to how exactly marketing analytics charter can operate effectively. In your experience, Madan, what are the few roadblocks which companies normally face? Because at the top of it, it looks pretty intuitive. I'm sure that with the way marketing analytics have evolved over the period, over the last decade, a lot of us know about it, at least theoretically. But when you go about and implement this particular charter, what are the few areas or what are the few challenges which marketers face? And in your experience, what are the best ways to get across
Thanks
those
for
roadblocks?
asking another brilliant question, which actually needs to be discussed a lot. One of the key challenges when we think about implementing a marketing analytics program, or maybe setting up a strategy business, what are the key challenges that comes in place are enablement. I would say enabling your counterparts in your team and enabling people outside your team. Both are the first challenges that we face as a marketer when it comes to setting up any new initiatives. And these are like biggest roadblocks because enablement has to be made in as on today. For example, with the trends that comes in AI or NLP or neuromarketing or anything as such, we have to make sure that people get trained on that.
Sure.
And that is number one roadblock. The second roadblock is the understanding of marketing trends within the marketing team itself. Right? Say an example, if we talk about ChatGPT, we think about, okay, ChatGPT can replace content writers. Again, this is not a roadblock. This is an enablement tool, right? So we have to understand and make use of such tools and to make sure that we are getting trained on the top of it, like meaning more on the side of trends. How can we get into the trends, learn about it? So if you are not on the trend, this is another roadblock, biggest roadblock for the team inside the marketing as well. And the third roadblock is talking about from a business perspective. If you are not able to simplify what you are going to do and communicate that back to the team, for example, if you have a newsletter, organization-wide newsletter, then how can you include a initiative section, initiatives from marketing team, and put in as, okay, the marketing roadmap has something that needs to be fixed and addressed, which is one of the things is marketing analytics roadmap, where we are going to solve business related problems. And how we are going to do it? So we are going to integrate data platforms and create join all the data silos and present a beautiful dashboard to the management, something like that, right? And it all starts with creating that side of visibility with even the already running your newsletter program, right? So talking about that, the important part, roadblocks are making someone enable in the technology or in the initiatives that you're part of. The second one is more on the side of the trends and technology that comes in, where we have to enable ourselves. The third is more talking about initiatives that we drive internally in our organization, and how can we create that visibility to everyone so that everyone is aware of what's going on inside the marketing team. And if it's not done, then the roadblocks come in different parts and parcel.
I get it. I love the perspective here, Madan, because you didn't only talk about symptoms that that people do not have access to data. The people they're not really able to get access to insights, or they are themselves not able to get the insights. You really got down to the core of the problem, which is the enablement for the teams, for yourself, keeping up with the trends, and then ensuring that the implementation should follow. Amazing thoughts, Madan. Madan, you just now talked about how in the newsletter, various, or you talked about how breaking the data silos and bringing those metrics in front of everyone really helps, right? Going into that, I would love to know how to select the right metrics and KPIs to monitor and report in a marketing analytics starter. How often should these be reviewed and revised? How exactly to go about create what we call as or understand as a KPI tree or sorts? I believe this doesn't change, not only changes from industry to industry, but also leader to leader, as well as the stages of the
Another brilliant question, right? So when we think about marketing, what marketers care more about is metrics and KPIs, and what business as a business care about is more about KPIs, right? So and in a traditional setup, where I work with different organizations where we used to have different metrics and KPIs. For example, when we talk about metrics, we also use vanity metrics to understand how is brand recall is happening, or how is brand being recognized when they look for information, right? So in like how people search, naturally how people search, how people go to the social media or receive your content, how people follow your page. That is also a metric that needs to be counted on. Again, why? Because the people who followed you on social, if they visited your website, and if you have set up the basic tracking functionality, then you can trail back and track on the conversion part.
Right.
Let's say, yeah, like if you have a conversion form sitting on their website and people are coming there, and maybe they are signing up for newsletter, or maybe anything as such, any content subscription or any conversion. This can be understood even through vanity metrics. So I won't say like even vanity metrics needs to be increased, avoided. But again, looking at from a key KPIs for me is, I will look at the customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, and how customer journey has improved over time through various initiatives like A/B testing, or maybe CRO, or maybe whatever the aspects we have. And the metrics I care about is the lead to conversion ratio primarily, right? And the subjective, or maybe the second level metric that I care about is how many people actually came in, how many people have actually spent time on, right? The engagement is more important for any one of us. And these are the two different metrics I care about. And even talking about from a website analytics world, Google has dropped bounce rate. So it's bounce rate is no more a term. Like we used to worry about bounce rate as a metric like years back. Now Google care only about engagement rate. What it means, make people to spend time on your website so that you can expect some sort of conversions. So that is more important. So engagement rate as a metric is more important. For me, KPIs, CAC, which is customer acquisition cost, CLV, customer lifetime value, and then the journey improvements. So journey, how it has improved in your overall conversions.
That's amazing. And I was reading, about the top priorities of the marketers, and listening to this, I cannot. When I tie it back to that, they say that every CMO is responsible for three things: revenue, cost, and experience. And you practically summed it up as your top three metrics. A brilliant take. I believe that this would really help our audience to really pinpoint because I believe there are 1600 metrics which Google Analytics track. Which are those metrics, which top three metrics which
It's
you
nearly
can.
impossible to keep up with everything. The reason
Mhm.
is again
Mhm.
GA GA4 and
Mhm.
GA prior to GA4, right?
Mhm.
That has completely evolved, and
Mhm.
those marketers who are very fascinated about universal analytics is not
Mhm.
giving a try on GA4 for the reason that it has become more
Mhm.
enterprise tech tool, and you can be using it on a daily basis only if you keep up with all the metrics, and we
Okay.
can see that evolving on a daily basis, right? So
Mhm.
and it's not so easy to keep on tab on everything as well, because
Mhm.
it has website analytics, we have digital analytics, we have social
Mhm.
analytics, we have marketing analytics, we have CRM analytics, and we have
Mhm.
much more data to talk about,
Mhm.
right? So every analytics tool have their own definition of
Mhm.
metrics as well.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and it makes sense. Yeah. So this leads me to the next question for you. We talked about objectives, we talked about the pillars, and we talked about the measurements. How would you go about? Let's talk about the tools, right? Actual on the ground implementation, right? When setting up this charter, and when companies decide that okay, so these are the metrics, and this is how we are going to take marketing analytics forward. But then I would love you to touch upon and kind of share your experience on how do you decide on what are the right analytics tools and technologies, right? Are there any particular features, capabilities you look for? Are there any specific data sets which you track and train for? How exactly do you go about set up the tech stack to
Yeah. Yeah.
to support everything which you just talked about?
Okay. Actually, when it comes to tool selection, there are two
Mhm.
parts.
Mhm.
One is the marketing technology, another one is
Mhm.
the marketing operations part.
Mhm.
And most of the times, we get a mix of everything. Like most of the organizations,
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
people do is
Mhm.
marketing technology and marketing operations work in
Mhm.
same team, but that's
Mhm.
good. But again,
Mhm.
it has a different responsibility, I would say.
Mhm.
And from my experience, what I usually go and do to organizations is creating a marketing architecture.
Mhm.
So we call it as marketecture.
Mhm.
So that will help us define on how we
Mhm.
can go about tool selection for a business,
Mhm. Mhm.
and irrespective of whatever the segment they are in. For
Mhm.
example, um, let's say they are a B2B company, or a
Mhm.
B2B SaaS company, or a
Mhm.
B2C company,
Mhm.
customer facing company, where
Mhm.
they want every customer to be informed about their
Mhm.
products or services.
Mhm.
Then
Mhm.
primarily what you need is a workflow,
Mhm.
and workflow needs to be created on some marketing automation tool
Mhm.
which complies with their budget again, right?
I understand. Mhm.
So the budget comes into play. And
Mhm.
the second thing is, talking about a B2C
Mhm.
as a business,
Mhm.
most of the times they have a maybe mobile app and a
Mhm.
website. So
Mhm.
where comes the cross device
Mhm.
tracking, right? So we
Right.
have to think about that.
Mhm.
Maybe taking names from a brand and saying,
Mhm.
okay, this will be relevant for you,
Mhm.
might not be good at all.
Mhm.
Maybe it might end up in after 6 months, no one might not be using it. So
Mhm.
having that clear objectives
Mhm.
in place will help us to think about what kind of tools we have to go after, what it means. So you have to have like you have a website, which is your
Mhm.
CMS,
Mhm.
and you have your, let's say, like all the distribution channels, your SEO, social media, and then
Mhm.
your email. Everything comes under
Mhm.
one box, and then
Mhm.
your ad platforms, like the kind of ads you are going to
Mhm.
invest on. It could be
Mhm.
digital, it could be print, it could be omnichannel, or anything as
Mhm.
such. And
Mhm.
then this forms the basic structure of your CMS, your ad platforms, your distribution channels forms a
Mhm.
basic structure of your marketing
Mhm.
structure. And then you need to also think about what kind of CRM would be fit for you. For example, either enterprise savvy CRM,
Mhm.
or whether a lightweight CRM
Mhm.
that can complement and help your team understand better, right? So instead of having a heavyweight tools at all the boxes, you can have some lightweight tools at relevant places so that you can do the job fast and better. And talking about anything beyond this, the tools also comes as another challenge where you need to enable people, right? And let's say either you hire people who are expertised in that, or you go and acquire the tools and then hire people who can be trained on that. So that is also another part which needs to be thought through while selecting tools. But the foundation here is you need to have a clean architecture of your marketing programs, and how you are planning to implement the roadmap, and then that will enable you to think about what kind of tools and tools you need to bring in, so that will help you to scale the business.
Right. Madhan, so you talked about marketecture. I hope I got it right. I have one question. Since you work with a lot of startups, you work with a lot of founders, right? When you're talking about this, when you're bringing this particular roadmap, setting the objectives, right? How important the role of the leaders, the founders, or at least the guys who are on the other side of the table, the marketing team of the founding of the startup, right? Or the enterprise. How important is their role, or what kind of challenges which you face or you have faced in bringing this leadership and this thought process into the structure, into the startup, into that particular startup?
Yeah. So predominantly I've worked closely with the leadership teams at the CXO levels. So what I've seen as a common challenge from the leadership team is buying your idea, right? So everyone will answer the same. Again, why? Because marketing and sales tech stack is in the recent times, right? Especially looking at the recent times, we have about 13,000 plus tools in the market. And this is as per the data from Chief Martech, and Scott Brinker and France had produced a report very recently, and this report covers about 13,000 tools. And with the last 3 months in the quarter, like the Q4 of 2023 has brought in about 2,000 plus tools now to the market.
Okay.
So think about selling all this new initiatives, new programs to the business,
right?
And it's going to be a challenge. So again, when it comes to the buying committee, where you have your CEO, your CFO, maybe your CRO, everyone, right? Even your legal team, talking about your. So they may not be entirely buying on your interest, but again, how you can make them buy your thought processes, explaining them the data governance, data policies, and then where we sit on today, and what are the benefits of doing this, and how long we can expect the program to run on, and when we can expect the returns.
Right? I understand.
The number one question from a CEO would be, okay, when I can expect the returns. The CFOs is, okay, you're proposed for a budget, but again, the budgets are going to get increased. Like whatever the spend you are going to make is going to get increased over a period of time. And how you are going to pay this back to the business, right? And from a legal team, whether he will be concerned about how this is going to comply with all the international offices. Like we have offices in UK, US, and how this is going to be used across all the offices.
I understand.
Right. So selling this to the management primarily talks about different tone to different people, and it has to be simplified. Again, put it simple across the table so that it can be understood. There is a say, right? Keep it simple, stupid. So we have to keep it really simple so that people understand that. And it's not about selling your idea, it's about enabling them to understand the idea behind your thought process. So if you are very clear on that, people will buy your idea and invest on you.
Great, Madan. My final, your final last line really, kind of, hone in the point that if they understand the primary motives or the intent behind your ideas, the ideas fly. Thanks, Madan. This has been a lovely conversation. We started with the objectives, and you really lay down till the final implementation, and governance and setting up the governance and into the organization. I believe this is not only limited to the startups, but also the enterprises and the entrepreneurs, who are trying to set up these within the company. This has been absolutely wonderful, Madan. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and ideas, insights with us today.
Thank you, Anand, and thanks for your time in asking all the brilliant questions related to marketing and revenue. And one of the thought I want to leave before closing the call is, I'm a fan of Seth Godin, who is a brilliant marketer. And one of the slides I had in the recent times in a community meetup was I had placed Seth Godin along with Elon Musk. And right. Both of them, if you look at, they are beautiful storytellers.
Right.
So Seth Godin from a marketing perspective and Elon from a business perspective. Even if you look at Steve Jobs, he's one of the very good storytellers.
Right.
So marketers are storytellers. That doesn't mean, and there is a book called Marketers Are Storytellers and Are Not Liars. Right? So and the trust goes on marketing, and marketing has been helping businesses through marketing analytics program. That's
lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
Lovely, Madan. We are going to take that to the bank.